Animal Legal Defense Fund files high-impact lawsuits to protect animals from harm. They provide free legal assistance and training to prosecutors in their fight against animal cruelty and provide resources and opportunities to law students and professionals to advance the field of animal law. Animals have rights too, and today's guest is very passionate about protecting animals. Heather Searstorff, president of FAMU Law's chapter of the Animal Legal Defense Fund, is here to tell us more. Thank you for being here.
Of course, thank you for having me.
Heather, I heard you have some exciting news.
Yes, our chapter was chosen as the chapter of the year from our national chapter out in California. There was, what we had to do was submit what we had completed as a chapter for the year last year in order to get the award. And then all the chapters put in their submissions and they choose one, and FAMU won. What we did last year was we hosted a CLE with the Animal Law section of the Florida Bar and the Animal Legal Defense Fund. We also hosted over 10 speaking events, 4 movies, and we also traveled to the Animal Law Conference out in Chicago. And then we petitioned and got an animal law course on our campus. Outside of that award, I also won an Advancement of Animal Law Scholarship for the fall of this year, and we had another member of our executive board win a fellowship out in California this summer. So we like to call ourselves the Dream Team.
Awesome. Thank you so much. That is amazing. Congratulations to you and everyone involved.
Thank you.
So tell us about the Animal Legal Defense Fund.
Okay, so what the Animal Legal Defense Fund does is we protect animals, and then we also promote protection for them through the legal system. And the way that they do that is through legislation, they do criminal prosecution, volunteering in the community, and offering pro bono hours to cases that need that assistance on both the federal and a state level.
And who are some of the clients that come your way, and how do they find you?
So some of the clients that come our way are usually people that have been either, they've seen an animal that has been abused in the community and there's a criminal case that's pending. And so what happens is they come and they say, look, we need to see how legislation can prosecute these cases. Animal law is a very creative way of looking at statutes, because the way that animals are portrayed in the law is that they are property. And so what you have to do is personalize those issues to show how different amendments can actually stand to protect animals as well as humans.
Okay, and what is a typical project for your organization?
So the student organization itself, what we do is we help with research and legislation. I'm actually working with the Florida Bar Animal Law section on their first ever animal law treatise. We're also researching legislation to make some changes as far as stiffer prosecution penalties against animal abusers, and educating the intersection between domestic violence and child abuse and animal abuse. But they also work on a national and global scale. So there are cases that the national chapter of ALDIF, which is located in California, handles, that they will send, they send attorneys out to Washington, D.C., they send them out to Texas, we have them here, and what they try to do is have advocates in every state, because as you know, with the process of law as attorneys, we're usually barred state by state. So they try to find representatives that can handle them, but they also have federal prosecutors too that can handle it nationwide.
Thank you for addressing that. And one final question, just because we're here in Florida, tell us about the bears and what we're doing about the bears and what your involvement with them is, if any.
Sure. So one issue that we have in Florida is black bears. Our communities are growing outward, and as we are building our homes, we are taking up the wildlife, and what's happening is black bears are invading a lot of the homeowners associations. So we have attorneys that are working within the state of Florida as black bear advocates, and what they do is they go in and they educate the HOAs how to become bear-wise communities. And so when they become a bear-wise community, it protects them from being prosecuted for perhaps a harm from a bear that may have come into the community, but also simple things like having bears knock over their garbage cans and all of the litter and HOA issues that can cause.
Right. Well, Heather, we certainly appreciate you joining us, and thank you for sharing
Sure.
a little bit about your organization there at the law school and your work on behalf of animals' rights.
Thanks.
I'd like to thank Heather and all law students working to make our society a better place for the animals. Keep up the great work.